Jets fans, welcome to another episode of Three Cranky Jets Fans. I'm your host, Joe Close-Morone, and here with me are Trisha Close-Morone and Matt Callahan. Trisha, Matt, what is going on?
What is up, Jets fans? I love that intro, Joe. I'm doing great. How about you guys? How are you?
I'm good.
Eloquently spoken, as always, the most articulate man alive.
No, he usually says, like, I'm cautiously optimistic or I'm doing okay. So I'm good. Like, this is out of
This
control.
one really fired you up.
Brimming with joy.
Loving it. All right. I can feel it. Today, we're going to react to Jets vs. Patriots. Big win on Thursday Night Football. Then we're going to go over a little bit of news and updates, see what the AFC East is looking like and the AFC in general. And finally, we will preview Jets vs. Broncos at MetLife Stadium. First, let's get into the game recap on Thursday night. Thursday, September 19th, 2024, in East Rutherford, New Jersey. The air felt exciting and full of possibilities. The weight of years, decades of disappointment lurking in the hearts of Jets fans everywhere, but hoping for something different against our most hated rival, the New England Patriots, came to town with new head coach and new quarterback and a whole different look. Lights flashing, helicopters overhead, fireworks flaring. The stadium was electrified with excitement. The game kicked off, and from the first snap to the last, the New York Football Jets exorcised the demons that have tormented them for so long. Final score 24-3 that has Jets fans feeling like we are on top of the world and have just witnessed something that we have been deprived of for a generation. A complete team win capped with masterful quarterbacking that Jets fans have been salivating for since Aaron Rodgers was traded to the Jets from Green Bay. We finally saw the possibilities, and it's a long season with ups and downs, but this week we can ride high and put the rest of the NFL on notice that the Jets are contenders. So here we stand, Jets fans, united in our jubilation, looking forward with newfound optimism. The season is long, the road ahead uncertain, but for now, for this moment, we can bask in the glory of what was not just a victory, but a renaissance. We are not just hoping, we are believing. And as we look to the stars above East Rutherford, we see not just the night sky, but a future where the New York Jets are not just part of the conversation, but leading it.
Amen.
Amen. Wow. My soul is stirred.
Okay. Well, we got a big-time Jets win on Thursday night. I want to know how you guys feel.
I don't even know what to feel. It was awesome. I don't think I've seen something like that in. It was everything I wanted. Just a total Jets game. It's like I felt like I was watching a different team than I've watched for the past several years, and I felt like I was watching one of the other games of the week that was not the Jets for the past several years.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you said, it was a total, complete win. We were really excited before kickoff. I turned to Trisha. Matt, you had texted us, and I don't remember what it was that you texted, but I turned to Trisha. I said, I think Matt's the most excited I've ever seen him. And it was one little tweet. No GIF or anything like that.
Right, I think I just said, let's go or something.
Matt is pumped up now.
That was ebullient for me.
It was incredible. The whole team really rallied and just just beat the Patriots.
Joe, I don't know if it's too soon to quote your declaration of Jets success, but it feels like a renaissance. It felt like a renaissance. I was just watching this rebirth happen on the field of passes being completed and the defense taking people down. And I just felt like, oh my gosh, this is fun. That's, all the fun was back in football. That
Right.
felt like something I didn't know possible.
Yeah, and I mean, we've seen the Jets win games handily before, but it never felt like, oh, they're kind of getting away with something. It always felt like this one was different. They were really in control. Like I said, Rodgers, I mean, it was just like pulling strings, pulling levers here and there. Whatever the defense was showing, and this is supposed to be a top 10 defense from the Patriots. Everybody went into this game thinking, oh, I don't think the Jets are going to pull this one off. It's not going to be so easy. Those Patriots are surprised. They beat the Bengals and gave the Seahawks a hard time. Now they're saying, oh, well, that team sucks ass. Don't get too high and mighty, Jets fans. But listen, we're going to enjoy this one. It was a great game.
Don't get too high and mighty, Jets fans. Like, they need to step off. We deserve 1 week of being high and mighty. And I'm not going to let them have that. No, I get to feel high and mighty for 1 week. Okay?
Absolutely.
At least.
Absolutely.
At
You need
least.
to enjoy this. Do either of you have any favorite moments from the game? I've got one if you guys need a second to
Go ahead.
think about it.
Yeah.
All right. Early in the game, and this was a penalty that 9 times out of 10 I would say, what the heck are you doing? Come on, get your head out of your ass. But John Simpson coming up and defending Breece Hall after he got hit and just a blatant personal foul. But he came out like a rabid animal to defend his teammate. And in that moment, I was just like, I love this team. I really do. I almost texted it to everybody, but I was like, I don't think we had scored yet. It was very early in the game. But, man, I was excited. I was just like, these guys
They've got the mojo.
They're out there with each other, for each other. They want to do something special, and you could feel it in that moment. And that was really a special thing. I thought. I love when these players are protective of each other, and John Simpson has just been an incredible add for the Jets so far this year.
Yeah. My moment's not quite as deep or meaningful. It's a little more on the petty side of things, but I just really liked that the Patriots didn't get to actually score a touchdown. I don't know if that can be a favorite moment, but yeah.
Favorite aspect of the game, for sure.
A favorite aspect of the game. Like last week when we got together and we were talking about Jets defense, I was so thrown by how unstable they kind of played the week before. And then they got it together. And they just didn't even let him really score. And that felt incredible. Aaron Rodgers moving the ball around the field, like so unpredictably anywhere. I loved it. Like he was in control. Everybody was ready. You didn't know who he was going to throw to, but you knew he was going to throw it. And that felt really fun.
Yeah, and let's touch on that. Aaron Rodgers, 281 yards to 8 different receivers in this game. 8. This team is really developing, and he is learning that he can throw to everybody on this field pretty much. I mean, we even got Xavier Gibson in there. Jeremy Ruckert made 2 nice catches. Yeah, really spreading the ball around. Now, other teams are going to have to realize you can't just double cover Garrett Wilson and expect that you're going to hold this offense back.
I wrote down 7 different Jets had touches on the first 2 drives of the game.
Yeah, that was incredible. I love that they came out just swinging too. Everybody thought they were going to come out running the ball on the first drive, and they didn't score on it, but they were moving the ball. And unfortunately, it got I think a holding call got that drive stalled out. But I mean, right from the get-go, I think it was 5 passes in a row or 4 passes in a row, and they were just moving it with ease against this Patriots defense, and it just felt different.
So, a name I didn't know before this game, and this is like shame on me for not knowing, but Tyler Conklin.
Yes.
He was all in there, right? We kind of have seen these other high flyers for a while, but he just kept catching that ball throughout the game, and that was really fun.
Tyler Conklin, he had a career night. I think he went like 93 yards, no touchdowns, but that was a big time effort for Conklin. And I mean, Jets fans have been expecting him to show up and get these kinds of looks, and now it's happening. Don't sleep on Tyler Conklin, the rest of the league, because he's gonna do some damage. Another moment I really liked was the Breece Hall and Braylon Allen duo is still in live effect. They're really moving the ball together, and it's kind of like a jab and then massive hook.
Yeah,
that knocks you out. Like Breece Hall is the jab, and Braylon Allen is just going to knock you out. But Allen, I mean, he trucked so many guys in this game. But there was one in particular when Uche from the Patriots tried to really lay into him, and if it was anybody else, he would have folded that player in half. But Allen just rams him over. He bounced off like he was nothing, and then Allen falls forward for another 6 yards. I was just like, man, this guy is impressive.
Yeah.
I would hate to be somebody out there trying to tackle him. And with the Breece Hall and Braylon Allen sharing carries, he's just going to stay fresh longer, both of them. And at the end of the season, these things are really going to matter when defensive lines are tired and hurt, and they're just going to be busting off 20, 30-yard runs every game.
Yeah, those two were everything I wanted to see from them this game. And
speaking of
we
rushing
haven't
yards,
even seen a great Breece Hall run yet. He had a good game, but we haven't seen one of his awesome runs yet. So,
yeah, I think he had one 30-yarder maybe last week against the Titans. I can't remember, but yeah, he hasn't busted a big one. He hasn't busted out a big run yet. Speaking of rushing, there was one other guy who had some yards.
Busting a big one? What?
40-year-old Aaron Rodgers got 18 rushing yards on two carries.
I was so happy when he did that. I was so happy. I was like, oh, he's just going to run. Oh, there he goes. He's running. And it was super exciting because you just don't think he's going to run that ball.
He moved really well. Not just those 2 runs, but he was scrambling around a couple times. He got hit a couple times and was evading pressure. Really looks good on his feet. It's not quite a fair comparison because Kirk Cousins of the Falcons had the same injury that he's recovering from, but 5 weeks later, I think, behind Aaron Rodgers. So it's not totally on the same timeline, but Rodgers is looking more mobile than, I think, 4-year younger Cousins. And it's showing whatever he's done for his recovery is really working.
Yeah.
And he's not a statue back there, for sure.
Do we know what he has done for his recovery? Did he do... I know that he can get into some alternative therapies and some,
I think
natural medicines.
Diet has been a big thing for him. I know he's mentioned he has a personal chef that's been keeping him on a very tight plan. He had a speed bridge surgery out in California. I forget the doctor's name, but it's a newer procedure. And the physical therapy team that he worked with, he says, was just really great. I don't know specifically what they went through with him, but definitely diet and that training program have been integral for him. Yeah. I don't think any of the psychedelics played a factor.
Yeah, I wouldn't actually put it past him. I mean, I think so much of recovery and healing is mindset. And so if that, you can only imagine like the depths that he had to go throughout the last year of thinking his whole life was about to take off. And then in 1 second it not take off, but he had this new project, this new intention, this new space. The whole world's kind of looking. And then he falls to the ground. I'm sure that recovery process needed I don't know how to describe it, but the mental fortitude part.
And all that goes into it. Yeah, I think he did do an ayahuasca retreat at some point in the off season. I'm not positive about that, but I think he does some sort of psychedelic retreat almost every year, I think. But I'm pretty sure he did an ayahuasca one this year.
Whatever he's doing, he's got to keep it up. He's looking great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a fun game to watch.
So, Trisha, I think you've come up with the greatest nickname for a football player that I've ever heard.
Gosh, I actually don't know what Joe's about to say.
It came on, I can't remember which catch this was, but Garrett Wilson, whose nickname is already G5, but
in case he's looking for another.
In case he's looking for another. Trisha got you covered. The Squiggler has come out, and I was just like, yeah, that's a perfect nickname. It's exactly what he does. He is a squiggly mofo.
Wait, so I can't even remember at this point. What was Squiggler a matchup of? It was like
I think squiggly
it was squiggly and wiggly, and I was like, yeah, he's like he's a squiggler or something like that. And it just all night we just kept watching him kind of worm his way through everything. They would start to take him down and get 3 more yards out of it. You're like, how is that possible? He's on top of you back there on the 40. You're on the 45. What happened? Yeah.
I mean, it's not bad though. I mean, if you could put your pen on a piece of paper and just go like this, zigzag it back and forth. That's the way this guy moves, and it's unreal to watch. You really should not be able to move your body the way he does. It's like he's going in 3 different directions at the same time. But that one had me cracking up, and I just wanted to do that. The Squiggler. Make it happen, people.
Hashtag Squiggler.
So we're very excited. We're only 1 game in against what now everybody is calling a terrible Patriots team, but good teams are supposed to throttle bad teams, and that's just what the Jets did this week. If anything, we've proved that I did nothing. The Jets have proven that they're heading in the right direction.
And the Patriots had no answer for them in any aspect of the game.
No.
Yeah, they really didn't. All right.
So it was so fun to watch, though. Can we just say that one more time?
Yeah, it was fun to watch.
Fun. Matt just kept texting more.
The color red.
It was perfect. I could feel the intensity. I loved it. Oh my gosh.
Also, I liked all the yards after catch.
Yeah.
There was a lot of that.
Mm-hmm.
Which is also
Rodgers got the ball out quickly. We're in space and let his playmakers do the rest of the work, and that's a recipe for success.
Also, the O-line had a good game.
Yeah. Pass protection is doing very well. The Garrett Wilson, Aaron Rodgers could still use a little work. it's moving in the right direction. It's going to get there. And when that opens up, it's going to be just hell to pay for every other team out there.
Well, so that's what I want to share is that after that game, I was just like buzzing on life, right? I'm going to bed. It's way later than our normal bedtime. We're early risers here. And oh my gosh, I was like, wait a second. Wait, they have the ability to do what they just did. Let's talk about the future. And Matt, I forced Joe to he's taking a melatonin, trying to pass out, go to sleep to go to work the next day. And I'm like, but wait, tell me, okay, who do we play next? And who do we play after that? And how many times? And where will we be? I'm like, I could have looked it up on the internet, but it was dark and, I don't think you had a problem with it, honey. I don't know if that's true or not, but it was so fun to kind of throw our bets out there. Okay, we're going to get this one. We won't get this one. I think before...
No. I mean, you can keep me all night and I'll talk about the Jets.
Yeah, before last week, though, I was kind of like, okay, I'm holding my breath, and then I got to see a moment, just one moment, and I'm charting the pathway to the Super Bowl. That's how good Thursday night felt, right?
It really did. Good. And I mean, the rest of Jets Nation is right there with us. Everybody is riding a high on it. And I'll tell you what, there's really no other AFC team out there that I look at and I'm like, oh, they're clearly better than we are.
Yeah.
Matt, you made a little face. Who you got?
Well, that's because I just looked up and the Bills are thumping the Jaguars 37-10 right now.
The Bills are a question mark.
And I know they scored on their first 3 drives of the game. Hey, look, maybe them. Might be them.
It might be them.
So I should say, since I've been harping on him the past several times, and past year too, that I think I texted you at one point during the game, Nathaniel Hackett redemption arc. I don't even know if it was his play calling or not, but the play calling was excellent. So
the play calling was excellent.
That.
Yeah,
that's actually been. I've been thinking about that for days, Matt. I've been like, I can't wait to ask Matt about his opinion about Nathaniel Hackett after this week. So interesting.
Yeah, I'll totally give it to him.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely an integral part of what goes into the play calling. The camera cut to him 100 times during the game, and each of those times he was saying nothing into his headset, which is a thing. But he is scripting these plays with Aaron Rodgers, whether he's calling them live or not. He is part of that. He's designed these plays with Aaron Rodgers, and they've come up with a plan together on how to get that done. Aaron Rodgers will orchestrate those scripted plays as the game flows, but they have a plan that they've put together
ahead of time or whatever.
Together.
They've done this.
Yeah,
Exactly.
So I definitely give him credit for it. Yeah, that was wonderful.
Yeah, but he better keep it up.
Yeah, you're on a short leash there, Hackett. All right, let's put that behind us. We've got more to cover. What's going on in the news and around the AFC? Matt, what do you got for us this week?
Well, the Jets signed former Eagles defensive back Jalen Mills to the practice squad. So what do you think of that?
I mean, I'm not totally familiar with his work. He was part of the Super Bowl or Eagles Super Bowl team as a defensive back. He's played a bunch of different positions with them and with the Patriots, from what I know. I think the Jets are hoping that he's kind of like a value add to help out the safety and nickel spot in the secondary. Safety is really where they could use the most help. So hopefully he will help in those areas. I don't know.
So there's lots of rumors swirling about the Jets trading with Raiders for the star wideout Davante Adams. He was seen stewing in anger on the bench as the rest of his teammates took to the locker room at halftime.
Yeah, I mean, he had a right to be angry.
I mean, he's stewing
in anger. He really was. He was just sitting there forlorn, looking off into the distance like nobody else was there. And it was only halftime.
Yeah.
it was the Panthers that previously had only scored 6 points in 2 games. Does everybody remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
did they win this weekend?
The Panthers beat the Raiders. I can't remember what the
thought.
score was. I think it was like 30 something to. It was bad. It was bad, people.
So what do we want with Davante Adams?
So Davante Adams and Aaron Rodgers are big time connection. He is a star wide receiver.
If how many more people can catch our ball?
I don't know. That's a good question. And is it worth it? Is it worth it to bring him in to this team who feels like they're loaded? The answer is yes. By the way,
do you think that I mean, this is going to sound stupid, but do you think there's going to be like jealousy or ego or some sort of personality thing happening if they bring him in with all this traction and relationship that Aaron Rodgers has just built with all of our guys?
I don't think so. At this point in his career, he's never gotten a Super Bowl.
Why is he so angry then?
He wants he wants to win.
Does he think
he's on the Raiders?
Wait, but does he think the Raiders are going to take him there?
Well, he thought maybe there was a chance. He went to the Raiders because his college best friend Derek Carr, the previous quarterback, was playing there, and he genuinely wanted to play with him again. They had great success at, I think it was Fresno State, and he went there. He got himself traded to the Raiders to play with his best friend, and then the Raiders traded Derek Carr away to the Saints, and everything was a disaster. The end.
Not the end. They're going to just trade him again.
Well, the Raiders are not looking good, and they were not projected to have a good season this year. But he's been staunch in saying that he is happy where he's at. He likes his head coach, and he wants to stay. And that's all fine and well. But he also is a really great competitor and wants to win. And you see what the effect is when his team is losing, sitting on the sideline at halftime without your team, just looking off into the distance. That's not something anybody does. You go back with your team and you try to figure it out. I don't think he's long for the Raiders after that. And the Jets are definitely interested. And he's interested. He's said if he were to get traded and to reunite with anyone, he would want to reunite with Aaron Rodgers.
Okay, can I come back to this news moment? I'm a little confused.
Yeah.
So I thought he was stewing in anger because there was a rumor that he would be picked up by the Jets.
No.
He's
stewing in anger because his team sucks.
It's all coming clear. I was really lost on that for a good.
The Jets are where the party's at.
It would be really weird if he was thinking that at halftime in a game, not against the Jets.
I was like, did this come out during their game? What a distraction. No. Okay.
Yeah. Nobody knows for sure what's going on in his head. But if he gets traded, the Jets are the odds-on favorite to get him.
I did read the news about the Panthers winning, so that's something.
Yeah, good for them.
So, Matt, will you equally be happy about this Davante Adams guy coming on over?
I'm all for always getting good players.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think the one thing that's a little tricky with that is I think they're just a little short in cap space, maybe like a few $100,000. It's not a big deal. They will be able to figure that out.
We can do like a GoFundMe.
No, I'm sure
like that. I think Woody Johnson and company have enough money. I think it's the amount that they're allowed to spend.
You imagine 3 Cranky Jets fans buy Davante Adams.
Yeah, I did offer our car as collateral or
donation
on Twitter today. I said I'll throw our car in if it helps get him here.
Oh Lord! And here this whole time I'm sitting here thinking he was stewing in anger about about coming to the Jets. I was like, guys, I think there's some ego and personality issues.
No, I think it would be a good thing. I think it would be a really good thing. This wide receiver room would learn a lot. An already talented wide receiver room would learn a lot from him, and everybody would benefit, I think. Matt, what else you got for us?
The AFC did not look good against the NFC this week, and if the playoffs started today, the Jets would be in the first wild card spot as they're in fifth place in the AFC, but the playoffs do not start today. Also, Miami got humped by the Seahawks. Like, they look awful. You just absolutely hate to see it. And
do you though?
No, I'm being sarcastic.
Oh my God!
Skylar Thompson had to leave the game due to injury, and the Dolphins trotted out old Tim Boyle, who you may remember from some awful plays last season.
Timmy B.
How did he do for the Dolphins?
Not any better.
Okay. Well, you win some, you lose some.
This guy, he was just dreadfully awful last year when the Jets gave him a shot to start a game. It was just terrible. He also has a very bad record in college. I think playing for UConn, I read this morning.
Somebody somewhere.
What the hell is this guy doing in the NFL? Is what I want to know. He, like, I don't know. What is he doing? What is he doing that's keeping him in the NFL? I think there's some nefarious scheme.
Yeah, that's it. No, I think like Tim Boyle's got like his dad Tim Boyle, who has his grandpa Tim Boyle, who like promised some NFL originator. Papa Boyle, Granddaddy Boyle is like turning in his grave, like, don't you take my Timmy out of. Is this what's happening? I don't know. I don't know.
Anyway, the Dolphins suck. They should cry about it.
And you absolutely hate to see it. And speaking of ex-Jets quarterbacks, Geno Smith and Sam Darnold still thriving. I've been calling the Jets a quarterback factory now.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. So, did you hear Bill Belichick was on? I think it was Pat McAfee earlier today or yesterday. No. I can't remember.
No, didn't he wear a suit? He wore a suit.
That was last week for on something else.
I can't remember what channel I was watching him on yesterday.
He was like,
always makes me laugh.
He's like throwing shade at the Jets, of course. Everybody loves Sam Darnold. Just the Jets fan base didn't. Jets and the Jets fan base didn't like him. I think I liked Sam Darnold. I'm not gonna lie. I thought the situation that he was in was terrible. Matt, Trisha, I mean, I think you guys didn't really like him, but he was in a terrible, terrible situation. The whole team sucked.
Yeah.
And then he went to Carolina Panthers, and the whole team sucked there. And he actually did some things there. It wasn't great, but he balled out a little bit here and there. And of course, with San Francisco, he just didn't even get a chance. But man, he's doing well now. And Belichick, I mean, just it's over, man. It's over. Move on with your life. You're the one that screwed us over. Why are you so mad at us? I don't get it.
I did like Al Michaels referring to him as the hooded one before the Jets game Thursday. Yeah.
Well, he's gone.
Which one of my good friends is a Patriots fan, and when I used to live with him on Bunker Hill, I always called Bill Belichick the Hobo King, but because of how he would dress on the sideline.
Yeah, he is the Hobo King. Oh my gosh.
Anyway,
I'm so glad I don't have to look at him a whole other season.
Yeah, I agree with that. And Geno Smith.
What's he doing? I'm not paying attention. Where is he? What's he doing?
Balling out.
He's really looking good, actually. I saw him
Geno.
throw like a beautiful deep ball to DK Metcalf yesterday, and I was just like, what in the holy F is going on here? It doesn't make any sense. The world is upside down. Geno Smith is amazing. The Seahawks are 3-0, while the San Francisco 49ers are 1-2.
What's the world coming to?
What is the world coming to? I don't understand it. Up is down.
Matt, I don't know if you know this story. I know Joe does. When I worked at IMG, Geno Smith was playing for the Jets and actually came to campus. And I think he was in line in front of me to get a sandwich. Like just at lunchtime, we had a cafeteria space. And he had people around him in suits. It's kind of like a little bit of hubbub. But when guys go there to train or to work out, you can't ask for anything. You can't ask for like autographs. You can't ask for pictures. They're just there to like be in their zone and work. But I remember going home and telling Joe, I was like, I'm amazed. They're like people really weren't talking or kind of making a scene about this Jets quarterback. And Joe at the time was like, nobody knows who Geno Smith is. Like he was just really, I mean, he was kind of sad at the time, very sad when he played for us. So, but it's good. I'm happy for him, doing well. Go Geno.
I'm happy he got it together and got a chance. It's very rare that these guys get another chance, and that's 2 Jets failures that have gone on to maybe prove the doubters wrong and maybe prove some of the system wrong of how we're treating these young quarterbacks coming in. All right, now time for a word from our sponsors. Oh, we don't have any sponsors? Oh, okay.
Well, I mean, speaking of ex-Jets quarterbacks, we can go right into the preview for the next game.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness. Zach Wilson is definitely not playing in this game. I did hear a rumor that the Dolphins might be interested in him.
Oh, please. Oh, please.
Yeah.
Oh, please. I hope.
I very much hope this happens.
Oh my gosh, they're already so sad. Let me talk about next week's game, and it's I'll give you guys a little insight before we just trickle into it. So, holy moly, the Jets are favored to win at home by 7.5 points. Phew. Yeah, that's what's going to happen.
It's a lot. I don't know that I've ever seen the Jets favored to win by that much.
Yeah. Well, it's a bit of a surprise considering the Broncos beat the Bucs yesterday, 26-7. This was a big-time upset, and Bo Nix looks like he is beginning to figure things out and just show us all why Denver drafted him in the first round. I think initially we thought this would be a bit of a cakewalk, but that might not totally be the case after watching this game. In any case, I'm glad the Broncos got a win, so they're not going to just go into this matchup in desperation mode and just come out, rabid animals or whatever against the Jets. Yeah, it's going to be a little more tapered. I'm hoping.
Wow.
Thoughts on next week, guys?
Yeah, the Broncos they came out swinging in this one. They controlled the line of scrimmage, which was a big deal. Their pass protection against the Bucs was good. They had good coverage downfield. The rookie quarterback, Bo Nix, seemed to be more in control this week. He had good accuracy on his throws and made good decisions. He was able to spread the ball around with a lot of sideline throws and quick little screens. They were also effective in the run game, especially up the middle. One thing I would say is that the velocity on Bo Nix throws wasn't very strong, in my opinion. So that's something that I think that maybe the Jets could take advantage of. Really, in this one, the Jets' defensive front is faster than the Bucs, in my opinion. They're going to need to get that speed to beat Denver's O-line and make Bo Nix uncomfortable. He did not see a lot of pressure against the Bucs this week, but that won't be the case in New York. The Jets should scheme up some more blitz packages like they did against the Patriots to create fast pressure. He did get the ball out of his hands very quickly, and it seemed to get faster and faster as the game went on. So they will need to get after him fast and make him uncomfortable. With that said, the Jets' D-line has to also keep themselves from over-pursuing. What we see a lot from this defense is that they rush after the ball carrier, and there's a screen or a run that they didn't necessarily expect, and that can create some bigger gains than really should be in those situations. So they really need to stay disciplined and protect themselves in those situations.
Yeah, I just think they need to do a little bit more of what they did last week, right? They were on it. Our defense was on it. Offensively, Matt, any keys you thinking for the Jets this week?
I think the Denver defense is good in pursuit. They tackle well, and they're bigger than they are fast. But the Jets' O-line has shown they've been handling themselves well in pass protection. And I think, like in the Pats game, they need to force their will on the Broncos front. Also, I want more of my favorite two-headed monster, Breece Hall and Braylon Allen, who I also think makes me think of, for some reason, an old comedy duo, Hall and Allen. That's what I think of whenever I say their name. But I'm hoping for another big day for both of them.
You got to get a little clip of Hall and Allen on here. Maybe we can get a little clip for next week. Yeah, what are you thinking about Aaron Rodgers this week?
Let's keep spreading it around. I like also in the Pats game, I like how I like the idea of always throwing to Garrett Wilson at the very beginning of the game to remind teams of him, and then hopefully they double cover him and he can just spread it around to all the other wide receivers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like there's a lot of ways that the Jets can beat this defense. I think it's really important that the Jets get out to a quick score just to set the tone of this game. And that'll just create a little bit of anxiety. I think the Jets can really get this one done.
I think if it looks anything like it did last week, like I'm so tempted just to swipe a credit card, buy some plane tickets and some NFL tickets, and just go to the game. I mean, that was such. I just felt alive. Yeah, Joe is cheering. He's like, "That's my credit card. She's swiping."
I would support that.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling really good about next week. I'm excited to see it. I think, of course, in good Jets fashion, like there'll be some moments where I feel stress and unhappy, probably,
Maybe not. We didn't feel any stress or unhappiness last week.
Did we, even for a moment?
Not really.
No.
It was like pretty much pure joy the whole time.
I think I was just slightly disappointed when they missed the field goal at the end of the first half.
That was mildly aggravating.
Yeah, it was just a mild. I was actually on the phone with someone. They were like, "What happened?" I was like, "Oh, the Jets just missed a field goal." She said, "Are they doing well?" I'm like, "They're playing better than I've ever seen them."
I turned it around like really quickly. I was like, well, our score predictions, I like brought it back to our score predictions, which I'm going to transition us into for next week. But I was like, our score predictions were a little wonky. So maybe we had to miss that field goal so that one of us could get it.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
We were talking about that.
But speaking of score predictions, let's talk it out for next week. Actually, first of all, does anybody have last week's score predictions?
I know you were.
Let me see here.
You had 30-6.
30
Joe
to
had
6.
27-13, and I had 21-13.
What was the final score again?
24-3.
Oof.
It's kind of a combination of all of us.
Yeah, nobody got it. That's okay.
Nobody got it. That's okay. We were all in range. The Patriots were a little worse than we expected offensively. But
Wait, I'm sorry. Did you say the score was 24-3?
Yes.
That's what I thought. I knew it. I know it. I love hearing it.
This is glorious, wasn't it?
24-3.
I haven't gotten to go back and watch that game yet. I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, me too. Just as soon as Matt listens to our podcast.
Jesus.
I'm joking. I'll just watch it anyway. I don't need you, Matt. All right, guys, what are we thinking for this week? Go ahead, Joe. What you got for us?
Well, this is a little wish casting. I'm still mad at Denver for injuring Breece Hall and Elijah Vera-Tucker. Each of the past 2 years, they've gotten an injury on us. Thankfully, we're playing at home. That's really the only difference here. I'm also mad at Sean Payton, mostly for being smug and who he is. I'm going to take the Jets 31-17 in this. And I do think that could be a reality. But I want it to be worse than that for the Broncos.
Okay. Matt, what are you thinking score prediction-wise?
I also find Sean Payton annoying and smug. But I'm going to say the score is 24-14 Jets.
24-14 Jets. Gosh, guys. If I'm honest, I usually use your predictions to guide me. I don't feel really inspired by either of these. But so what we know is that Denver wasn't looking good. They are looking better. And we are feeling hot. Okay, so yeah, I think I'm gonna go a little more conservative. I think it's gonna be like a tighter game. I think it's gonna be 28-24.
Ooh. All right.
I mean, I hope not.
Jets.
A little bit of a barn burner, or is some of that made up in garbage time?
I think the Jets are gonna win. I don't know. That's a horrible score. I shouldn't say what I don't want. I should just say
no, it could be fun.
It could be fun.
Anxiety games are fun too. I want them to take care of business against this team, but
am I allowed to have 2 score predictions, like what I think and what I actually want?
Why not? All right, so what you think is 28-24?
Yeah.
Okay, what do you want?
What I want is 27-7.
I like that.
Okay. All right. I hope we can remember this for next week. I should make some notes on.
I gotta start saving these things and pulling them up for our podcast. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
All right. Any other thoughts on Denver Broncos versus Jets?
It's gonna be a good time.
I think it will be. All right.
Matt?
Yeah. I'm still holding out hope that somehow Zach Wilson gets promoted to the game.
Oh, man, that would be glorious.
Oh.
And then gets traded to the Dolphins.
Right.
Well, that wraps it up for episode 4 of 3 Cranky Jets Fans. Thanks to everyone for listening and supporting our show. If you're enjoying the show, please subscribe on your favorite podcast platform and leave us a review. It helps other Jets fans find us. And don't forget to follow us on Twitter or X, whatever you call it, at 3 Cranky Jets Fans. It's the number 3 Cranky Jets Fans for more updates, hot takes, game reactions. We'll be back next week to recap all of the action and hopefully celebrate another Jets victory. Until then, keep living the Jet life. Go Jets.
Go Jets.
Go Jets.